For question number 5 and question number 6, 4, 5, and 6, it's asking you to calculate the NPV, IRR, and payback period. I'm not going to repeat it because you can either use the calculator or you can use Excel or just to calculate it. Anyhow, so the WACC, you see, for question number 4, weighted average cost of capital, is a concept, new concept we learned in chapter 14. So WACC is cost of capital or required rate of return. You can use it as the cost of capital or discount rate. You can just use it in capital budgeting and decisions for the discount rate. So I'm not going to spend any time on questions 4 to 6. Okay. Question number 7, since the WACC is changing, so you will get different NPV. The question is only asking you for the differences in NPV, so I'm not going to repeat it. So question number 8 is something like different from the previous questions because it's asking you to calculate MIR, modified internal rate of return, by considering rate for reinvestment and also considering the financing cost differently. So, but anyhow, in the question, in this example here, there's no difference for the reinvestment rate, reinvestment cost, or reinvestment rate, and the financing cost, financing rate. It's the same. We use WACC 10% for both rate. So if you use MIRR command in Excel, we use 10%. We use 10% for both rate. Let me show you. This one is not included in the calculator, but we can use Excel. Let me show you how to do this one. Okay, anyhow, let me rework on this table. Okay. Okay, so the cash flow is very simple. Year 0, 1, 2, 3. Cash flow negative 1,000, 450, 450, 450. Oh. Okay, so 10% is WACC, or required rate of return, or cost of capital is 10%. So the question is asking you for MIR. So you can go to Formula, Financial, look for MIRR. So for the values, we incorporate all cash flows from year 0 to year 3. The finance cost, so in this case, it didn't make any difference between finance cost and reinvestment cost. So let's just put WACC, use 10% for both rate, since there's no difference in this example here. So click OK. So the answer should be 14.2% for MIR for this question. So this is how you can do this one. Okay, and the math equation for MIR, I don't recommend you to work it out this way, but you see the math equation is here. So you can get the future value of all positive cash flows and divided by the present values of initial outlays and use this equation to get the MIR mathematically. Okay, so this is this one. Question number 8. Question number 9 is asking you to calculate the discounted payback period. Okay, so the difference between payback period and discounted payback period, I didn't cover this approach in the on-campus class, but it's just very similar to the payback period. But however, first thing you should do, you should calculate the present value of all the cash flows. Like year 1's cash flow is $500. Now you have to figure out its present value is how much. So the present value for this question, so discounted payback period, the first thing you should do, you should calculate the present value of each cash flow. $500 you receive by the end of year 1, its present value equals to $455. Use PV function so you can get its present value. For year 2's cash flow, $500, its present value is $413. For the third year's $500, it equals to $376. Now you can use the same approach like we did in payback period now and figure out until when you can pay off completely of your debt of $900. So the answer should be 2.09. The discounted payback period is 2.09. See, this payback period without discounting the cash flows, it should be like after the first year, you still owe $400. The second year, you make $500, but your debt is $400. So if it's payback period approach, your answer should be 1.8 years. If we use payback period approach, it should be 1.8 years to pay back your debt. But for discounted payback period, the answer is 2.09. Because we're discounting all the cash flows we received in the future years at 10%, at this 10%. And then think about how long does it take for us to pay back the debt completely. Okay, so question number 10 is asking you to practice with this crossover rate. Now, okay, so what you can do is you should calculate the difference of the, what you can do is you should calculate cash flow of project S, cash flow of project L are both given. So you should calculate the difference of the cash flows for between the two projects year by year. And then you can use IR command in Excel to get this crossover rate. So the answer should be 13.27. So this is the last question for the homework. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.